Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of Denari's. Wait, sorry, Time Shenanigans, episode 5 of Denari's Half Dozen, which is signing day. It's a great celebration for everyone. The once a year, the goddess becomes flesh and walks among the people, and there's a big celebration. This year is especially important because it's the Great Renewal, wherein after 1,000 years, the contract that the goddess made with the original founders of the city, the members of the ancient nobility, is due. And all the apocalypse cults have been out for days with their "the end is nigh" thing, because obviously if the goddess feels that the population of the city hasn't given her the proper divine return on investment, then there's clauses in the contract that involve destroying the city outright and just sinking it back into the swamp. So, hey, disaster. So, of course, all the sandwich boards went out. The end is nigh, that kind of thing. Many cults, very busy. The City Watch and the Church Militant have been super busy. Parties everywhere, though, because also signing day is a holiday. It's the time when contracts are made and finished, and the agreements are signed and things like that. Is a very big auspicious day because hey, if you get your contract signed on Denari on signing day, obviously it is blessed by the goddess, etc. And again, because the contract is renewed today, it has been very much a big deal. The contract has been kind of rethought. Like, hey, 1,000 years has changed. A lot of things have changed about the situation. We're no longer a bunch of desperate refugees dying in a swamp. Now we are a prosperous, city, and kind of the largest and most important city-state in the continent, if not the world. So maybe we can negotiate from a position of slightly better strength this time. And they've been working on rewriting everything and all that kind of fun stuff. Alwyn has been part of that. For reasons that the barristers involved are still not entirely sure of, but they know that they needed this guy. Somehow they did, because perhaps a divine revelation from the goddess told them that, also because cut a deal with her. We'll get to that. That's important. Also, it's very important that the contract itself be worthy of a contract with the goddess. So the House of Ligario has been working diligently and very hard to create the right ink for the contract. Much better than the ink the first time, which is probably just ink, or just something the goddess created and provided herself, which, but, just a lot of research has gone into it, and to make it impressive, the House Arbore has worked on making sure the paper is amazing. So the contract itself, written out, ready for signature, is in a portfolio in the hands of Darren Ligario's sister, who's the head of the business. Remind me of her name again.
She's not the head. My mother is the head of the business.
Well,
but
right.
My sister is poised to take
poised
over.
to take over the business.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that sister is Ira.
Ira. Okay. Right. That's why I have that written down. Not in front of me, but I have it written down. Anyway, there's a small contingent, the high priest of Denari, Ira, and the contract in a portfolio at the main church at Haven. But the goddess takes a road to the city. There's a kind of a parade, combination of Mardi Gras and the Macy's Day Parade, if you will, in the amount of celebration in the city and people lining the streets, where the goddess manifests and kind of walks out of the water, gets in a carriage, and gets to ride through the city. In this case, with Alwyn and Darren in the carriage and all that kind of other stuff. And everything is amazing and happy. The crowd seems a little on edge. Some kind of weird deja vu. They have some kind of memory of something bad happening. Just that they're concerned about. And it's like, this is great, but I have a back of the head worry. It just kind of ripple through the crowd. And we get to kind of Effigy Square in Iron Cross, and just the conversation in in the carriage is going along, and a crossbow bolt takes the goddess in the neck with just a peal of lightning and a peal of thunder, flash of lightning, golden blood everywhere, and that's where we're going to start our game. I'm Commander Pulsar. Welcome to Denari's Half Dozen on Huntsman's Hydra. We're playing Swords of the Serpentine from Pelgrane Press, who we have to thank for letting us have me have a preview copy of this game. They can thank me for backing it on Kickstarter, I suppose. So it's a mutual thing. But they've also given us a code for if you're interested in the game and want to check it out, you can get a discount for that by using the code that I'm sure Action will provide in chat, and kind of get a chance to check it out. And hopefully you'll enjoy our playthrough to get a feel for how the game goes. And I'm going to let everybody else introduce themselves kind of in our usual round robin fashion, starting with someone who's not on the scene anymore at all, Pax. Aki, take it away.
Hi. My brain just completely reset. This is the introduction-y part, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's been a long day today. Hi, my name is Aki, pronounced she, they. I play Pax, pronounced also she, they. And yeah, I play games, and I hope I make it out of this. I'm gonna send it to Stephanie.
I am Stephanie Allen, pronounced she, her. I am one half of Charm Person Games, professional game master for hire service. And I am playing Lady Adarian Ligorio, our just noble lady, nothing strange or sorcerous about her at all. Let's go with Cole.
Yeah,
There, y'all. Yeah, I'm Cole, aka Ice Cold Brew, and I'm playing Alwyn, who is once again covered in golden blood. And both of our pronouns are he, they. And yeah. Kitty.
Hi, I'm Kitty. I have a cold right now, so yay. I am also known as Caffeinated Kitty or Wizardly Kitty over on Twitter. My pronouns are she, her, and I am playing Riona or Kieran of the Fontafni, whose pronouns are also she, her. And yeah, back to you, Pulsar.
Awesome. And yeah, I'm Commander Pulsar, he, him. Pronouns will vary according to the NPC involved when we're playing. Other than that, yeah. But kind of let's get back into it. If I remember right, like I said, in the carriage with the goddess is a priest of Denari, the goddess herself, Adarin and Alwyn, kind of alongside this open carriage, being members of the church militant and a few members of the city watch kind of dispersed throughout the crowd. One of them ahead of the carriage was Pax, but we'll get to that in a second. And if I remember right, Riona was kind of in the crowd, rooftop, basically being Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know, I'm sure there's probably an Assassin's Creed game reference that could also be maybe better made. But yeah. So this uneasy crowd, when the goddess gets shot, is going to react a little more quickly than they did the first time around, as far as like losing composure. So we're going to set our clock and kind of get everybody a chance to do a thing. But yeah, I guess kind of maybe working our way, start in the center, in the epicenter, and work our way out. So Cole, what's Alwyn doing?
I think Alwyn reacts a lot quicker and sees the bolt go through the neck, goes, by the gods, okay, and immediately looks for a statue that's nearby. And I would like to...
It's Effigy Square, my friend. Statue nearby is the very definition of this entire plaza.
Excellent. So you remember how last time I used my wealth to heal the goddess?
Mm-hmm.
I now have 1 rank in bind wounds.
Hey,
Can I do a combination of my 1 rank of bind wounds with a little bit of wealth and a little bit of statuary magic, because the statues are related to her plane, to try to heal her?
You can try. I mean, yeah.
Is this more likely if I dump corruption into it?
You don't have any points in Leechcraft.
I unfortunately do not.
Which is an investigative skill, which would give you the information that you would need me to give you to this. So, I mean, you know not to take the crossbow bolt out of her neck. Beyond that,
from bind wounds.
Yeah, beyond yeah, that's the whole, the beyond that, the I think Alwyn's probably whole knowledge of surgery in the head and neck region is don't touch that, you don't know what it's attached to, kind of best practice advice kind of thing. It's just like I guess part of it, might ought to make a morale check at some point to just keep your composure, because this is tough. The goddess has just been shot right in front of you. I mean, keeping it together is not going to be easy.
She got shot in front of you again.
Twice. Yeah, I mean, it's just like that. You should blame yourself. No.
Damn it. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be better.
No, but I mean, but yeah, I feel like that's kind of not necessarily like a fear check or anything, because but just kind of keep it together and being able to act get coherently and not like spend a little bit, there's going to be a certain amount of just shock of kind of getting yourself to snap out of it and just, yeah.
Okay. So
but
let me roll.
Yeah.
Let me roll a morale check.
Mm-hmm. So morale check is in this case, and I'm gonna say, because basically how you react is entirely up to you, but the kind of just snapping yourself out of that shock is gonna be, let's call it a difficulty 4 morale check. Just straight up, fairly standard, but
I can spend morale to add a bonus to that.
But
right?
You can spend morale to add. Yeah, you can spend morale to add to your morale roll.
Okay, I can add a +2 to that.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna click a roll, click a dice button here.
Okay.
Modifier 2. I know it says athletics, but it's supposed to be morale.
Okay.
That's not a button for it.
I mean, yeah. The character sheet doesn't have a button for it. Okay. Well, that's on roll 20. That's not on Pelgrane. That's on roll 20. But yeah, that's fair. Okay. So yeah, you managed to hold it together as far as being able to act, and I think as far as binding wounds, that
can I at least like stabilize her to where she's not actively bleeding out in front of me?
Yes, probably. And to answer your question, I'm trying to answer also Brandon's question in chat, but it might be my sound. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know if I have the sound on that turned off. But yeah, you've got one, and you have bind wounds, which means you can make a roll, and you have 1 point in bind wounds, which means you can spend up to 1 point to add to that roll. Mm-hmm. I will say the difficulty to do healing here is going to be high, but
gotcha.
But I mean, that's the thing is what all you're trying to do is I think you can spend 1 to add. Spend 1 to add 2. Is that how that? Let me remind me.
Yeah. If I remember how Riona did it, it was spend 1 point of bind wounds to get 2 points of health back.
Yes.
Okay. I think, and I think that's you can do that. I think it will, if nothing else, probably stop. Maybe you can prevent the bleeding from getting worse, kind of thing, which would be that's fair.
Not to dig myself into a hole and
not to do that,
but Also, I think the goddess is badly wounded, and isn't that one to one in that case?
I would say the goddess is mortally wounded, but even if she gets fewer points back in healing, you can at least prevent further loss of health.
Okay, but yeah, that would be my my immediate first action is
All right,
prevent her from bleeding out.
fair enough.
All right.
So fair enough to binding wounds. All right, so who's going next, Cole? I guess we're kind of remaining in the car, I suppose, would be Darren would be the next closest, but you could pop it over to Riona.
My immediate reaction would be shouting at Steph at Darren. Wow, words. I'm looking at everyone's name on Zoom and confusing myself. I would look at Darren and be like, "It's happening again. Why is it happening again? Why are we doing this again?"
Yeah, I think there's like, hold it together. Like,
I'm holding the wound closed. That's the only thing I can hold together.
I think Darren probably ought to make that morale check as well. That difficulty of 4. Speaking of holding it together, and I'm just going to say, just average roll of everyone in the crowd. Many of them are going to fail the morale check.
Okay. You said to hit a 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a lot of morale to spend.
You and me both.
Yeah, I probably should have put more into health, but it's fine.
I was just saying, not get hit. Just don't get hit.
Yeah, just don't get hit. I'll just be in the back. It's squishy. It's fine.
Just ask Elwyn how well that works out behind the bar.
They have
and
to see me
quarters.
to hit me. They have to see me to hit me, which I do make difficult. I am gonna actually spend 3 points of morale though, just to make sure that I don't fail this.
Then if you want to roll and see if you critically succeed or something, that's fine.
I didn't critically succeed. Okay. I got a 5, but I did pass. That's the important part.
Yes, I was gonna say that absolutely passes. I mean, spending 3, you'd only crit on an actual 6 on the die. So yeah. All right, cool.
That's fine. I'm totally okay.
Speaking of holding it together, Darren holds it together. That is great. And then does what exactly?
I am going to mark this on my character sheet so I don't forget. I'm gonna reach over and once again grab the priest and slam him towards Denari. Like not into her, just like cover her. like make him like use his body like a shield basically, whether he wants to or not, and like kind of like rip off whatever like vestment I can get my hands on and like put it on her throat to try and like.
All right, I feel like so yeah, that is almost certainly a sway as far as getting him, because he's, you know what?
If he was a good priest, he would lay his life down to protect his goddess. I'm just saying.
No, it's not that. It's and it's not a difficult sway roll. It's more of a snap out of it. You need to be, And I think if you're not wrong, I think that priest probably would have jumped in front of the crossbow bolt if they'd known it was coming. But there's apparently only a couple people that knew this was coming. This was going to happen, and those people are on screen right now. So yeah, just give me a sway difficulty of 2. You want to put a point on it, just kind of a do your job kind of situation.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of sway, but yeah, I'll spend a point. Why not?
Can I offer aid in this time because I'm also yelling?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like in general, yes. I mean, all of it. There's, but the thing is, yelling, yes, but everyone is yelling. Most of them are exclaiming in shock and dismay. But yeah,
I mean, instead of yelling in dismay, I'm yelling competently. Please, for the love of God, please, for the love of your goddess, right in front of me, keep her alive.
Yeah.
But there's a certain amount of like trying to yell instructions to someone in a loud sports arena. It's not so much that your instructions are difficult to follow, or they're just the crowd noise makes it difficult to hear. But yeah. I'm gonna bet that you rolled at least a 1. Yeah, boom.
I
So
did.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, okay, yes.
I got a 2
and,
plus the
yeah.
1 makes it a 3. So
and yeah, it's kind of just right now is kind of sprawled up between her and the driver, and it's like he's like slapping him on the shoulder, like go, and all this kind of other stuff. But you can see outside, people are busting into the parade route, though they're not behind the barricades anymore. They are kind of milling about. Many of them are trying to get to the carriage to help, perhaps.
I don't like that.
Some of it, it is the whole many of them are trying to get out of the square, and just like somebody took out a goddess. I don't want to be on the end of that rifle, or
Yeah,
whatever
for real.
crossbow bolt, so there's the kind of content warning for everyone. This is a kind of one of those pandemonium sort of situations, and could go poorly.
If I can, I would also like to look for a bird up in the sky, so that's flying around.
I mean, it's ever since it's tall buildings. There it's like pigeons in New York. There are birds. More likely kind of more seabirds, so that there's, I guess, terns might take the place of pigeons in Eversink, just because it's all like on the water and canals and stuff like that, so they're always like fish and crap to snap up.
Oh yeah, that's a
But
seagull.
yeah,
Seagull is about as useful as a pigeon is.
Yeah.
I live in a waterfront city. We got seagulls here.
Yeah, fair enough.
I want to commend them. Find the people who did this. Find everyone responsible for this. Go find them, kind of thing.
Okay. I think that would probably be. I don't know if that's necessarily a corruption spend, because that's more. That's more of just you're trying to. It's kind of using a skill like vigilance, or to just kind of be aware of what's going on. So yeah, I think you're probably just gonna make a. Again, I think this would probably be a sway roll. You have play to the crowd, so you're actually, in this case, you're swaying a crowd of birds to do this thing. And I'm sure that the implied is some kind of reward in the form of food or whatever. Do this and you will get treats, kind of thing. So,
or just do this because I told you to, and I command you.
Look, birds are a lot easier to sway than people, but they still have motivations. And
I'm always nice to the birds. I'm always nice to the birds.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you either get. I have no idea what seagulls sound like, so they're gonna sound like crows, I guess.
Oh, that's right. You live in some inland area, don't you?
Yeah. We have. We have lakes and rivers. We do not have seagulls.
That call wasn't actually that far off.
Okay. Fair enough.
Do the mine things. Mine.
Yes.
Mine.
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. Just Did somebody recall? Clip that. Play it back. That's. Anyway.
Okay. I rolled a 4 on my die.
Okay. Yeah. They start Yeah. I mean, so now it's this weird vortex of all the turns in Effigy Square are just kind of patrolling in flocks and kind of doing these kind of numbers now, or at least starting to anyway. And yeah, so on the rooftops, Riona, not far from where you are, there's just just suddenly, of course, obviously this flash of lightning and peal of thunder and just brightness in the carriage, which is just happened for you, and now it's happening again. But shortly before you really get a chance to react, also there's all the birds on the roof around you just kind of go for that moment of just kind of that startling moment, and they kind of
that's a little disconcerting.
Yeah, not knowing why. Yes, I imagine that would be this ominous omen. Yes, this bad thing just happened, and all the birds
just took off. They didn't do that last time.
That's true.
Maybe because our sorcerer leveled up. Got another sorcerer's sphere.
Yeah, I know. How did we have time to do that? But also, how did we come backwards? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Anyway, but you do have a chance to react, Rona. What are you going to do?
Get down to the carriage again.
Fair enough. But yeah, I think basically just a general athletics check, much like last time. Just yeah, and this wasn't really that much of a challenge for you last time either. But just tell us what it looks like. Because just give us that cool moment of parkour of coming down through various like bridges and statues and stuff.
So this square is full of statues, like big statues, little statues, all sorts of statues. So the birds take off and Riona just jumps to the nearest statue's head and then just kind of jumping from head to hand to head to hand, that type of thing, down till she's close enough to the carriage to just jump and drop into it.
Okay. Yeah, this time there is more panic in the streets. There are more people. Barricades have already been knocked down. The path forward for the carriage is going to be gone shortly. This is going to be a situation of getting them out on foot or having something like that to do. But yeah, you land in the carriage. Alwyn has put a cloth of gold bandage up against both sides of the wound. The market priest that was just kind of useless and crying in the carriage is still kind of muttering to themselves, but they are kind of draped over the portion of the carriage between where y'all are seated and the driver, basically just kind of up there, kind of blocking the view of the populace generally from what's going on in the carriage. And they're being they're still kind of like, this is not okay, this isn't great, this is not good, this is not, you can't shoot but mostly muttering to themselves and still kind of how do you kill a goddess anyway? But yeah, so they're moderately more useful than the last iteration of this whole situation. And if nothing else, they're at least out of the way because they're more on like the driver's seat than they are in the cabin. So yeah, though everyone, driver included, is still kind of startled when this warrior with her bow over her back just kind of thunks into the middle of the thing. And of course all the guards around the carriage still again kind of turn in, but they see you don't have it's still slung, and they can't turn away from the crowd for too long. One of them does and just gets socked across the jaw and almost goes down, so they have to like kind of keep the crowd pushed back and try and like give you a little bit of space here. You don't, like I said, have a lot of time.
Okay,
what do you do?
So with Leechcraft and Tactics of Death, would Riona know if this, she would know if this injury is anything that Denari could recover from with help? Like, if it is worth actually trying to help her?
This is a deadly wound. This is somebody's going to bleed out and die very quickly. You've seen wounds like this this is how you kill something on the plains. About that, you just,
there's not coming back from this.
Yeah, that she's still alive is kind of in that eyes looking around wildly but can't say anything, kind of just starting to. Yeah, she has moments.
Okay.
Not long.
Do I have time to do another action, or should I wait till next round?
Oh, that's information. That's just an assessment. That's kind of you kind of land, look, and have that oh no sort of moment, and yeah, but you can do something.
Okay. So Riona is going to lean really close to Denari, and probably put her hands on the back of the seat. She might hit Alwyn's hand as she's doing that.
Okay.
And she's going to talk really quietly to Denari,
Okay.
so that pretty much only Alwyn could hear if he's paying attention. And she's going to tell her, Denari, I can't help you. But I might be able to still save you. If you can come into my body, use me as a shelter.
Alwyn
Eyes get real.
Alwyn hears this and says, "You might not even need to go into a body," and points at a staff as Kane.
Yeah, Denari kind of looks at you and is like, "There's the. It's not speech, it's not telepathy, but it's one of those that the eye contact that you just get. Like, are you sure? This could go really badly for you."
Either way, I
Would
can help out with
Darren
this
hear
too.
this being there?
She was purposely being as quiet as possible because she didn't want anyone else to hear.
Tell
If
me
Darren's
how
paying
is
attention.
I was just
I
say,
mean, yeah,
tell me
I
how
think
this.
Darren would.
Tell me how the sorceress of secrets is going to make sure that she overhears this.
Secrets and shadows, so. And birds now. Burbs.
Yeah. So Brianna would just like give the slightest of nods to Denari.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, she manages to, with a lot of effort, kind of, and it's a very, because right here, right, it's a ritual space.
Alwyn will help out and say, clear out. Everyone step back.
Anyway, so yep, that's everyone here has had a chance to act on that. So while everything is frantic and crowd noise and just yelling and panic and pandemonium, like, the camera cuts to just quiet.
It's Pax.
And the
so peaceful.
the sound just kind of like cuts out. It's Effigy Square as well, but it's almost like Effigy Square at night, and empty. And some of the buildings are a little different, kind of stretched out and almost like the city in moonlight. But Pax is there here in Effigy Square, just on maybe the wrong side of Effigy Square, in the spirit side of Effigy Square. And from your point of view, I've got to imagine what this looks like is just phenomenal, right? Because you're kind of here, and then there is that flash of lightning, of just a which lights up the whole place, and kind of you have a sense of things scurrying to find corners and stuff for that brief moment. And where that lightning hits is just an explosion of golden light. And you kind of can see the body of a woman, of Denari, just kind of a taken, and just that lightning catching them right in the throat. And that glow is still there, but starting to fade. And you're kind of in this square with that and you, and what do you do?
So for Pax basically got teleported from the roof from last time back to where she was before.
Yep, just not on the right side of things.
Okay. Very disoriented.
Mm-hmm.
Pax,
In time for it to kind of play out again, yeah.
Pax, looks over at Denari confused and very concerned, and then immediately looks around. There's like a little, like you see in the movies when a character gets disoriented, where they do that like slightly off-kilter 360.
Yeah,
And I
fair
want to
enough.
look
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the
yeah.
spirit again.
Fair enough. Like that 360 pan, kind of always got that Dutch angle with the whole kind of world just kind of. Yeah, it's like like the camera stays on Pax, who's kind of doing this number. The rest of the everything just kind of just whirls. And yeah, with Vigilance of 2, there is a force, a something, but it's not in that clock tower anymore. It's on like a covered bridge, like three stories or so above the route, and just like there was some kind of position. There's lots of bunting there and things like that, but just this good angle for a low close shot instead of a long more difficult thing. Like somebody realized they made a mistake and had somehow the ability to reset and try again. But yeah,
So-
there is something there. And with
Can't tell if
Vigilance of
it's-
2, yeah, and so with Vigilance of 2, now that the flash of light has come, there are other things that are kind of coming out, back out into not the light, but the space of the square, as if drawn to the light of Denari. And not all of them are moving like people.
So, does it look like it was before, where it looks like I can kind of see kind of like almost like an art sketch outline of the cart, almost in a way that's holding
Yeah,
up
it
Denari?
kind of. I mean, you know it's there. You know what it looks like. Yeah, and it has a like very kind of faint presence in the spirit realm. I guess possibly because, though, I'm like trying to imagine. So like an invisible car that's now been splashed with paint, because wherever Denari's blood is, you can actually probably see Alwyn. Not Alwyn, but like the shape of Alwyn and just the amount of golden blood that has been splashed on him. But the cart and the inside of that carriage is just kind of illuminated by, there's a whole lot of divine spirit energy right there. So yeah, I mean, I think you would know where the cart is.
Okay.
Where
Can
the
I
carriage, I guess.
go?
Cart makes it sound like a radio flyer or something.
Is there any way I could get on or roughly where the cart is?
Yeah,
If I can't get on it because I'm not in the right realm, at least be like right where Denari is.
I think it's. I'm not gonna make things more difficult than they have to be. I think it's just one of
Like
those
floating
that, yes,
underneath her body.
things
Just
are
like-
things are there. It's like
Can't
but
touch anything.
I mean, in a way, a lot like Given, yeah. That's
Right,
gonna
no
be hard.
Axes there, based on how my cane works.
I think I mean, if you've got a hand on it, then you can detect stuff in the spirit realm. You've got spirit side of 1, so
Mhm.
yeah, you would feel. I mean, I think I've got to imagine that with Pax has spirit side of 3, which is very significant in this game. 5 is like maxed out, so you're like,
On your way.
yeah, if it were D&D, you're a level 10 character in this particular realm of, compared to like level 1 adventurers or whatever. You're gonna like boom. So yeah, I mean, if Alwyn is 20%, you're at 60. So I think Alwyn, you definitely, Pax registers on the scale for you, I'm sure. But the other thing is that all the living, it's just there's a lot of background noise as well. So, a lot of much more detail than that, you're not going to get a whole lot out of, because you've got one, you want to talk about overwhelming noise. There's a dying goddess in your car. So that's going to like, the idea, it's the astronomical idea of light pollution. There's a whole lot of, you're not going to see a lot of detail because the sun's out. But yeah, I would imagine if you're thinking about it, that when Pax gets in the carriage, that's something you'd even Alwyn be like, huh, Spirit got in the car. I don't know if Alwyn would know it's Pax though.
No, I don't think so
Because
either.
as far as Alwyn is concerned, this time around, obviously we reset, so Pax should be out in the crowd somewhere.
Yeah, that's kind of the point, because if I can tell that Alwyn's there, and I'm like, okay, I wasn't here before.
Right?
So Pax is like, oh, I'm stuck. There's just that, like, as they're making progress to the Denari, it's that moment of like, shit.
Yeah, and I believe, if I remember right, the last time this happened to you, you were a kid, and it was terrifying.
Oh yeah.
So this is probably also a morale check for you, kind of to keep it together here as well.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, because it was particularly traumatic, I'm gonna say it's probably a difficulty of 5. Because this is not good. This is not good. Getting lost in the spirit realm is bad.
I think I'm gonna dump. It's gonna hurt, but I'm gonna dump a good few, probably about 4
Okay.
4 points.
4 points of morale into that. Then you don't have to roll, because 4 minimum roll you can get is a 1. So plus 4 is 5 is what you need. So yeah. Okay.
What if you see if you
So
get a crit though? What if you crit though? What if you crit?
Critical morale.
Yeah,
Let's
you'd need it. You'd need a 10 to crit, and you're adding 4. So again, you have to roll a 6.
We're just gonna see. I don't think I
sure.
will, but
Sure.
maybe maybe the panda dice will be nice to me today.
Hey.
They were not.
Well, you still hold it
3.
together. It's not just like, not a okay and something good happens or whatever. But yeah, you got it together. This isn't good. This isn't good. But I'm not 14 anymore either. So
I'm a little more experienced.
I've had experience and training, and yeah, it's like, all right, remember your
Therapy,
training.
probably.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Hopefully.
I've been to the Jedi Academy. I could do this. I can do this.
You can make the perfect circle with the sword.
But as soon as I get up there, I'm gonna just try to like audibly reach out to Alwyn. Just, Alwyn. It's borderline panicky, like quivering voice, like slightly panicked. Pax just kind of floats into your brain, or whatever.
Yeah.
All
right.
Oh, I think Alan does hear that, and just that's like the in the weeds moment whenever you work like customer service or service industry, where you're just like, there's a screaming crowd, the god is shot, I have to take care of I have to take care of the body, I also have to take care, and Pax is talking to me, okay, great.
One too many things. Yeah. It's like, I got you.
Just like, hi Pax, what happened?
Stuck.
What do you mean you're stuck? Where's your body? Your physical
Here,
body?
in the spirit world.
Rihanna,
What are y'all doing?
Darren, we have a problem.
Yeah, for Alwyn, that's not something Alwyn can do. That's the people. That doesn't happen a lot. It's generally not good.
Mm-hmm.
What are y'all doing?
You mean we have a problem?
Pax
Problem
is
bigger than the god is bleeding out all over us?
Pax is stuck in the spirit realm. Pax, I don't know how to. I talk to spirits. I don't pull them from realms. That's a bad idea. Actually, wait, hold on.
Can I see, like, because I know that spirits can see like real people, but it's like in the same sense of like they can't interact with them. Sort of like Given did. Can I see what everybody else is doing, like the backing up thing, or like kind of tell? Because I mean, I imagine that Alwyn's not the only one that's covered in Denari's blood.
Oh no, it's like arterial spray. So I mean, imagine everyone's gotten a little bit, but Alwyn being, I think, like directly across from her in the carriage kind of thing, of just more of a hi. Lucky you didn't catch the crossbow bolt too.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get certain information in character. So Pax would again ask Alwyn, "What are y'all doing? I see people moving. What are you doing?" Because like referring to like the people moving back.
The goddess's body cannot be healed. Riona and I, well, Riona had an idea, and we're going to do everything we can to make it work. You might be able. It's going to get weird. You might be able to help out. I'm not entirely sure how yet.
Pax gets the message from Denari's spirit.
Denari actually can speak to Pax in the spirit world because her throat in the spirit world isn't wrecked by a crossbow bolt.
That's very true. Pax is thinking like, speaking directly to Denari. Pax was like, "What's going on?" Pax was, there's a hint of panic, just a hint. I'm gonna try to help.
Yeah, to Pax, Denari just kind of says, "I got shot
Again?
again."
Never mind. What's he doing?
Well, they need a space. I can't tell them here. I can't tell them there. I can't. The bodies. I'm having a hard time. Y'all
We all
are
are.
fragile. Y'all are really fragile.
Oh, I know. Pax like points to like the scar on the side of their bald head that's like shatter like from a shattered glass, and he's like, yeah, we are. Can I help?
Possibly. It could hurt.
That's okay.
And kind of Denari is like, does this where she's kind of leaning up around the carriage, and we have bigger problems.
I can see them. I'm trying to help. I have the idea of, so there's a thing that I read when I was reading through Spirit Sight where you have the ability to push a spirit fully into the world. Can I use my points in whatever ways needed to help push Denari fully either into the cane or into Riona so that Denari is not technically in the spirit world so that the creatures can't get to her? Because I can see the things coming towards her, and I'm like,
can you do that? Yes, absolutely. I feel like that would leave you as you can do that, or you can defend yourself. I think those are the choices, or at least that doing that would put you in a disadvantageous position to
yeah, but this is Pax's job. Pax works for the church in a way, so
I
this
don't
is
know
why
that,
I was patrolling the thing.
I don't know that putting the goddess into another human body is anybody's job, but okay, sure.
Do what you can to protect the goddess. If they're trying to do a thing where they're going to put her in the body, let me help you, ma'am.
You are using a very broad definition. That's fine. It's good. I love it. Okay. So I feel like, at kind of this point in kind of the, I guess, the initiative order, I suppose, is that that crowd control is going to become a problem. That is pushing on. That like people are pressed up against the carriage, and like you've got the guards are like backed up against it to the point that it rocks a little. You've got problems, and I think on the opposite side where it's rocking, like say rocking from the right side of the carriage to the left or whatever, like the left side door opens, and there's just kind of church militant. Paladin isn't the right word, like warden not Inquisitor, but basically if Pax is the Inquisitor for the church, this is the point of the spear kind of thing. This huge woman, just fit, muscled, chainmail, shield and spear, the whole works, just kind of cracks the door open and says, "You're not safe here.
We have an issue. Hold on. Actually,
Birdie, you're not safe here. We have to go."
All right, Derry just snaps. What?
What?
Okay,
Bring her. We have to go.
we have to go. I'm just gonna like grab, like try and like. I'm not very strong, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna try and
See,
get
and
out with
this
Darren,
woman,
with Denari.
This woman has made some space. And just like apparently there's a squad of soldiers that have cleared the crowd is on the other side of the carriage is pressed up against it. On this side, there's enough room for the four of you, counting her, to maybe kind of stand and she kind of reaches past you, hand lingers on your arm a little, and just kind of like, "Give her to me." And
if we move her, she will die.
I've seen wounds like that. She's going to die anyway.
Let us do it. We have a solution. Just give us.
It's not something you can do here unless it needs 10,000 people to help.
We have to trust her, Alwyn. We have to trust her. Trust her.
Okay, fine. Is there a way I can use ghosts and spirits to at least keep her spirit attached to her body and like near that realm so she can like kind of live a little longer?
It doesn't come attached until they die. That's how that. I mean, it's going to be attached. It may be attached tenuously, but it'll go where the body does, at least for now. And yeah, and the strength in this, she just kind of like passes off the spear and just picks the body up like it doesn't weigh anything, like me picking up my cat, and just kind of just cradles it very gently. This is also a very devout woman, so this is like it's very careful, just like fragile, like holding eggs, and just kind of like, okay, go.
Yeah, I think Darren's like already out, like following immediately.
Okay. And yeah, Riona, I mean, your tactics here is like, yes, if you need some space, on the street is not going to be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Inside somewhere is going to be a better idea. Just a door you can barricade, windows, something.
Mm-hmm.
So also out in the street, if you give them enough time, somebody's going to be able to reload that crossbow.
Yeah, this is true.
So yeah, that's kind of the two, and we guess kind of back into, so Darren's already out of the carriage. There's a little squad they're kind of trying to make a cordon and are just pushing back against the crowd. It's very hard to hear anybody. I mean, even as close as you are, you're having to shout to be heard. Is that the goddess? Is she dying? Is she dead? What's going on? The goddess is dying. It's just crowd is just they don't know. People are arguing both ways. The world is ending, etc. That cult guy was right. Holy crap. Anyway, and then, this is the wails of my business. Anyway,
My cabbages.
my cabbages is right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Riona's definitely gonna follow.
All right, fair enough. You'll have basically an opportunity to pretty much push crowd. I'm going to say at some point the crowd will probably be able to kind of. I don't think it's like an intentional melee attack, but it's just the press and just limbs flailing and people trying not to get trampled and so on, that probably just against. Okay. Who's got a threshold of 3? Anybody have a health threshold of 3?
Oh,
I don't know why I'm looking.
Okay. So the crowd successfully makes melee attacks again, basically against y'all for a total of 2 points of health damage. Just basically like a sock in the jaw kind of thing, or just kind of or stepping on your foot, some kind of just nearly getting trampled in the crowd kind of thing as this group of people are trying to kind of push you, and you're headed towards God knows what, some kind of building. Looks like maybe it's a tavern. It's got some kind of sign over it.
Is it the Fish Guild?
It is not the Fish
Oh,
Guild.
thank God.
That's on the other side of town.
Does it have any relation to a god of storm or sea? Any kind of motif with that? I remember Codus.
The sign looks like it's got a boot on it.
So it's ran
Like
by
a
Italians.
boot?
Got it.
A boot and a needle. Yes. It's in the shape of it's in the shape of a boot. So it must be Italy. Mm. But yeah, there's like a boot. There's a boot and a needle on it. So anyway, and yeah, you kind of push your way, and the guardsmen, like in the kind of the point of this little group, just kind of smash the lock, essentially, just kind of crack the door open, and everybody kind of shoves inside, and the crowd noise kind of abates a bit, and I guess Pax, they're moving.
I'm moving
Some kind of okay, you're kind of following Alwyn, and all right, fair enough.
Yeah, I think
Sort of
Alwyn's telling Pax what's going on the entire time. Some guards showed up. They said we have to move the Denari. I don't like this. This is nerve-wracking. Someone just punched me in the jaw.
That sounds obnoxious.
Yeah, it's just like part of it. He's kind of doing this train of thought monologue to kind of give you an idea what's going on, and in the middle of it, there's like, ow! Son of punched me. Interrupting his own sentence, just get socked. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, you wind up inside. It looks like a shoe shop, a cobbler's. There's like a countertop, and there's like the wooden boxes that all have like pairs of shoes in them, in various with like written tickets or various. Some of them are clearly ready to go. Some of them have come in. I guess they're organized in some way that would make sense if you were a cobbler. That here are the ones that I'm going to fix later. Here are the ones that are ready to go. I'm assuming those would be closest to the like front counter. There's probably that whole like little, more just like a little entryway to the shop, and then there's some kind of back room where presumably there's more machinery and more of the actual work gets done. But yeah,
I think
guardsmen are like looking. Yes, several of them. 2 of them like just press up against the door. It's not back to it, but like sides to it to kind of lean in, because there are just the press of crowds. Some of them saw where the goddess went. I mean, she's glowing brightly. It's hard, the only glowing person in Effigy Square. So that's gonna attract a little attention anyway. Though the vast amount of the crowd are just like. Are kind of panicking on rumor, if the goddess got shot, I'm sure by the time it makes it the other side of the squares, the goddess is dead, and all this kind of other stuff. So yeah, that's a thing that's happening.
Looking at the head of the bolt, does it still have that like used up crystal again?
Yep, used up crystal, like it had some kind of storm in it.
If everyone's okay, I'm going to point at the captain of the guard and be like, I don't know who you are, but I guess thank you. Riona, how do we want to start this off?
And
They're going to
Captain's
think you killed her. And I'm just going to say this directly to Ryota. They're going to think you killed her.
Pax can prevent that kind of. This is
Can I?
going to take a lot.
Either they think I killed her or she dies.
The contract.
I'm
the
fine with
contract. I would like to use my preparedness flashback. GM.
Okay.
And
Yes.
I would like
this
to
is gonna
say
be good. This gonna
that
be good.
before we all left, one of the things that was decided was that there would be multiple copies of the contract on hand, just in case. And that I'm holding one of them. It's a simpler, like, there's no like pre-embellishments or anything on my copy. It is just
Okay.
like the plain text written quickly and plainly. It's an exact copy otherwise, but it's not like
Yeah.
the beautiful document
It's
you
not
put on
super
display.
fancy one.
Yeah.
You have the archive copy, or the
I have the text only copy that's
the
written for like
abridged-
the screen
abridged, yeah.
readers to make sense of.
yeah, the abridged. Yes.
It's not abridged. It has all of this.
Or
the
yeah, not
exact
abridged.
text.
That's not
But,
the
you know,
word. I'm
it's-
like that,
it's
like the
the-
dyslexic font and
It's the
just
screen reader
just like,
accessible version.
nice. I love
I'd
it.
like
Yes.
to say that I have a copy of it.
I love the idea of that all like the illuminated letters at the beginning just have like broken link. The image
It's just like a box drawn with nothing inside of it. Yeah.
image goes here. Or
Mhm.
just like yeah.
But like the name of the person who was supposed to do that block was written. We'd like have a blueprint copy.
Oh, what if it's just like a stand-in image? It's just a portrait of a swan. Just
yeah,
so,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
absolutely.
Just like the,
yeah,
the
just
block
like
print with a stamp.
Yeah.
just a block stamp of the swan Denari swan logo kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
I love
it's
it, yeah.
it's not the greatest paper. It's just like the working copy paper, and it's not
Yeah.
particularly great
Re-
ink
just
either. It's our
re-
working
yeah, just-
ink, your everyday
yeah, it's-
workhorse kind of ink.
Honestly, this is probably like the like a Darren's personal like checking the text and things like that. There may
It
be
makes
even
sense,
like
yeah.
make personal notes or this image, probably like where the images are is like a Darren's made of what is I trying to remember what they call it, the Twitter, when you like do the text of what the images, the alt
text.
The alt text.
Yeah, you've got the alt text
It is
for each
definitely
image,
the
so-
screen reader friendly person. So yeah.
Right, so, it's like, but it's like a Darren's personal notes. So like, yeah, you probably like the artist is this person.
yeah.
Da da da
like,
da. Here's what the pictures of and the
yeah,
date it's supposed
illuminated
to be
E
due.
for ever seeing, done by this artist, kind of thing.
Yeah, just all that kind of just a Darren's personal notes on and stuff like that. Yeah, all right. I love the idea that probably honestly it's probably one of those preparedness moments of not that you maybe thought to bring it ahead of time like you'd need multiple copies, but it just occurred to you that hang on, I have this on me.
Yeah, it's in my pocket because it hasn't left my pocket for the last
Right, yeah,
month.
exactly. It's just like I've had a copy of this contract for like weeks. Hang on.
Yeah, and I'm gonna pull it out. Like the contract, she has to sign the contract. She has to sign the contract. First,
Has she-
here, now, witnessed.
Has she been able to move at all, like move her arms since she got shot? When you're losing a lot of blood, it's really hard to move your limbs.
She can sign it in her blood. It's basically ink.
Yeah, the guard captain's like, I don't think she can move her arms to sign it.
That's the thing.
She spoke.
That brings up another point, Riona. We might want to move to putting you in. Like, how do you feel about this? Because this could be rough.
What?
I thought we were going back with that original idea that you had of moving her spirit into another body.
Oh, I mean, the glow is significantly less glowy than it was even like a combat round ago.
Mhm.
She's
Yeah, that needs to happen.
We
I-
have very limited time.
Yeah, I think Darren is ignoring them, but it's just like going up to the body with the contract. It is like flipping the pages to get to the final signature.
Mhm. Denari
And-
looks at you so sad and like tries to open her mouth.
Bad things happen
And-
to you too if you don't sign, because you'll be in breach of contract.
But
Alwyn's going to go ahead and start setting stuff up and pulling out components and start consulting with his cane about how to move spirits again.
okay. This is a bit more complex than stepping into a statue. This would be God, this would be a good time to have spirit sorcery would be definitely useful. Not spirit sight, that's different.
Mhm.
Sorcery of spirits, which is essentially necromancy. Not what Pax does.
Yeah.
Not a cop, not a necromancer. You're gonna get a list of all the things Pax isn't.
See, if I took the spirit necromancer, I could just reanimate Denari's body. There's a lot of really cool sorcerer spheres in this game. I love them.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think maybe while Alwyn's getting set up, I think Darren's gotta reach out and like not grab as in take, but grab as in put her hand on Alwyn's cane
Mm-hmm.
so that she can see and hear Pax too.
Yeah, I definitely hear Pax. Actually,
Or no, well, okay, but then hear
But-
Pax at least.
yeah, because that's the thing. Alwyn's he gets the sense. You could
Yeah.
sense where Pax is in the room. It's easier when they move, but because I think when we talked about it, it's very much like Toph's from Avatar: Last
Oh,
Airbender,
Toph,
kind of
yeah.
that Toph.
Yeah.
God, now I can't pronounce her name. Anyway, but that kind of blind sense of like knowing where people are, but not necessarily
That makes sense.
like seeing them, kind of thing. But yeah, that sound obviously carries as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think they'll grab. So I'll put my hand on the cane. Not grab as a take, but grab as in like make sure that I can touch it and get some of that too. And
Mhm.
Pax, help her sign.
What?
Do the thing with something with her spirit. Give it to her so she can move enough to sign.
If I were to try to push her spirit into the realm, would it help her move at all?
well, I mean, the thing, as far as the spirit goes, there is so much, right? Because she is already in the physical realm, and she's like, you know how you've come from the real world to the spirit. She's in both.
Mhm.
It's just that what they're trying to do is jam her into a very small jar for a little while. Denari is like, maybe after the ritual. And we won't have long. Well, your friend won't have long. But yeah, okay.
I have an idea of how Pax could help at least like ensure the success of the ritual.
Sure.
Owen's just going to say, like, start muttering and hearing a separate person going through historical notes of something he only messed with maybe 5-6 years ago. Just as Pax, have you ever made bread?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to
That
be
seems a little irrelevant right now, Alwyn.
So my understanding is because of your abilities with spirit sight, you can push spirits towards a certain direction. You are basically going to be taking the dough and you're going to be forming it and making sure it fits properly into the vessel. Does that make sense? You're going to be kind of rolling it and pushing it towards the bread thing's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, Pax,
Okay.
as someone whose family runs a bakery, Alwyn has no idea how to bake anything, but
You broke
The
it.
tracks. Alwyn claiming he knows more than he does about something. That I believe it.
I mean, the idea kind of comes across, but boy,
He's a roaster, not a baker.
I think I know what you're saying. That's not how that works, but I get it.
That might be where I went wrong a few years back. Anyways,
and to punctuate that, on the spirit side, in this, because this place in the spirit world is a cobbler's. This place has been here for a long time. Apparently, this is one of those. This may be the establishing shot of established like 200 years ago or something like that. But to kind of punctuate Alwyn's statement, in the spirit realm, you hear a kind of a fingernails on the chalk. Well, not fingernails on the chalkboard, but like the scraping of something sharp along the glass of the windows. This kind of just a.
Yeah, I meant to ask if when they were moving, if anything had tried to come towards Denari, because Pax would have immediately been like, trying to block or parry whatever.
Yup.
Anything.
Yup. Yeah, but there's thuds of really heavy footsteps outside. And for those of you who aren't in the spirit world, there's still a lot of thuds and presses against the walls and doors. And this tall guardswoman is like, well, okay, whatever you're gonna do, if it's gonna save the goddess, do it.
We gotta hurry. There's things trying to get in here.
I forgot about Kodos. Oh, fuck. Darren, do you want to? One thing you do to help wards, lots of them around the entire building, as powerful as you can make them. And I'm going to look at the captain and be like, Denari's pissed off some other gods, and they are at our doorstep too. I don't know what you do, but secure the place as best you can. And Riona, this is going to get fucking weird.
If I stab it, if I can stab it, I'll stab it. That's what I do.
I think Adarian kind of like looks at the guard captain for like a minute, like, and then like goes to the door, and I will put a ward up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck, this is not the way I wanted this to go, for them to learn this way, but okay. Bam, open sorcery.
Fair enough.
What you gotta do?
Yeah, you're up against the door. She's actually also holding the door, and she's like, Oleander.
We need Oleander.
Oh, that's my name.
Oh.
I think Adara just kind of nods and just is like, yeah, just doesn't say anything else. It just puts magic into the door.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that is I believe for wards, it's just a sorcery roll, unless you like to spend corruption.
Or Forgotten Lore.
Words are forgotten lore.
Oops.
Yeah, words are forgotten
yeah.
more. We just said that we
That's right.
could use sorcery to do
Right.
it. So.
That's right.
Yeah. So I will. Do we have to spend anything to do it? Do I have to like roll actually? Double check.
You spend forgotten points on Forgotten Lore to create a ward, and then how many points you spend is.
I only have one to use, but yes, I will absolutely use it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's the third page of the cheat sheet if you're looking at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Get that up.
Okay.
Yes, we put together a cheat sheet because
It gets a little confusing.
it's just useful. No, it's just there's a lot of information.
Yeah, it's a lot to absorb, but a whole new system. So.
What is Riona doing to help
done
set?
really well.
What is Riona doing to help set up the ritual? Out of curiosity.
Waiting for Denari to do something, because she hasn't done this before.
Yeah, it's very much. Yes, this isn't a plant thing.
No. Her sorcery doesn't really help here, so.
I guess mentally stealing yourself for becoming a.
I think Alwyn's just like, Riona, are you sure you want to be the vessel?
I already said what I said.
All right.
No second. No backing out now.
All right. This is going to get
I
fun.
made a contract with Denari to protect her if I could. This is how I can protect her.
Until we go back in time again.
Honestly, and Alwyn, from a standpoint of someone who has read Zalgrim's dissection, Zalgrim's manual of dissection, that the strength and health of the vessel would probably be an important factor here as far as how quickly the divine energy would burn through it. You know how if a candle burns really hot, then the candle burns down really fast. Denari is a magnesium road flare in this analogy, so but needs must, I guess.
I'm expecting this to go one of two ways. Either Riona looks like a cracking vessel, or or everything just works out fine. I don't need to say anything else.
Yes, of course. The latter is obviously the correct choice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Could go wrong.
Alan's going to hold out the staff and just say, just mutter to the cane one more time. I keep saying staff, I mean cane. Mutters to the cane one more time and just says, Hadrian, you're going to hate that we're doing this again. And just immediately starts muttering a whole lot of words that don't make any sense to anyone. How would you like me to roll for this? This is a mix of ghosts and spirits and a little bit of spirit sight, corruption, and forgotten lore, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And also mixed in with Alwyn's background.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Ooh, would you also say this triggers my drive of history starts off with a dramatic flair? Or sharing goals with companions in hopes we achieve them together?
I think you could probably fire both of those if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So let's see. I think you and I will let's get together after this and figure out what the cost to Alwyn and Hadrian is going to be for this.
Oh, that'll... Hey, Pulsar, I love you. Also, I hate you, but I love you.
That means you have a good relationship with your GM.
We will figure out what
There's some definitions of good
to Alwyn and what the cost to Alwyn and Hadrian. I already kind of know what the cost to Riona is going to be if the clock goes too long. So yeah. So you guys could basically kind of maybe there's not enough space in this front room because this little front room is like very that very narrow space in like some of those, like if you go into like the little tiny storefronts, they haven't. It's like a custom shop, so there's just barely enough room to stand, and like what 2 or 3 people. How many people? Even in a large city, there's maybe going to be like 4 or 5 people needing their shoes repaired at any one time, kind of, So that's not a big space, but the back room is that there's tables and like workbenches and stuff like that. So Riona, you have managed to get back there and started shoving there's like a workbench kind of in the middle of the room, and you've just like raking like leather and soles and like thread or whatever, just whatever tools just off onto the floor or what. So someplace to put the goddess to lay them down and to have some space and just kind of kicking stuff out of the way so there's room around it and stuff like that. So a lot of the ritual magic involves people, and there's usually chanting, and all of that ritual magic is mostly to help people focus, right? Because magic is a working of will and using magical energy to force your will on reality, and reality generally reacts badly, and that's why there's corruption. But reality doesn't like being told what to do. but all of that is kind of, it's helpful. But if you're powerful enough or the needs are great enough, you can kind of do a magical ritual kind of by brute forcing it and not having to have, you know, the 13 people in robes and scented candles and the appropriate chants and music and, you know, I'm sure all of, you know, all of the tantric rituals are pretty great, but I imagine half of them are in the ritual just because that's fun. But anyway, so yeah, there's probably a point at which Denari just kind of reaches out. Well, actually, she can't. Never mind.
Alwyn picks up her hand and has her reach out.
Or just, yeah, just a point you just take her hand or touch her at some point, and she says, and you can hear her, and it's like, if you're sure, and I promise I will leave before. And it's going to be probably disorienting, but I'm not sure. I've never had to do this before.
I've only done it once. So I have a little more experience in something more than you for once. And is going to bring Riona over and have them both like connecting to the cane, and Alan's just going to hold it center and just like clasp both his hands over them. And yeah.
And Darren, are you going to partake in this and help, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think
before... there's a moment before I leave though. I'm trying to I'll just say Oleander. And then I'll just turn and I'll run back over to the.
You start to, and there's this big hand, this thud on the shoulder, just kind of a stop and turn, and there's a hug that has. It's not without consent. There's a little bit. It's very much there's a lot of strength there. It's like, I don't understand what's happening. Are you safe? Are you okay?
No and yes.
Okay. Do what you got to do. I got the door.
Live. And then I'll turn and like run.
She kind of big grasp with a spear and a little thunk where it hits the floor. It's like, of that there is no doubt.
And yeah, I will run back and I will have the contract laid out, and I'm gonna put ink and I guess we use quills in this world, and I don't know, maybe we have fountain pens, whatever, and have it there.
There are some weird Camian inventions that play around with like other things besides, but a lot of it boils down to like making quills. Yeah, it's future. Yeah. It will eventually be fountain pens, but right now it's kind of like this weird combination of, okay, we've got the metal nib, but we still haven't lost the feather part for some reason. Anyway.
Yeah, I'll have that like ready, basically like thrust into Riona's hands once the goddess is there and be like, sign. But yeah, until then, I think I will do whatever sorcery I can to help. You know, I've got a little forgotten lore. I have read some books that are forbidden. I have 3 points in corruption, you know, and maxed out sorcery.
Okay. I don't know if this feels like something that corruption would be necessarily a part of, but
I feel like there's like a little part of it where like you're bending the rules of reality and saying this person goes into this person now.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a maxed out sorcery. I've got an 8 out of 8 sorcery. So
okay, okay.
I have more sorcery than you. Haha.
So how many points of corruption are y'all spending on this as a group? Just how many would you like to contribute, and that will make this easier.
I'll spend a point.
Also a point, but could I also spend a point in Forgotten Lore, considering?
Oh, absolutely. I think Forgotten Lore is going to be necessary here. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. have
I
a
do
thought.
also have a point of corruption that I can spend.
Yeah. I'm gonna DM you a thought real quick, Pulsar.
Okay.
Ooh.
I love it. My players send me bad ideas.
Well, where I'm from, we call those paranoia notes.
Mhm. Where I come, it's called plot fodder. Maybe not this time, but next time, when I have had more time to think about how to twist it. I mean, to adjust. That's definitely a thought.
Yeah. Because we're shared vision too. Let's double down on that too.
Mm-hmm.
I love messing with game rules a lot. I get really excited to think of what can be done.
Well, yep. So yeah, I think, okay. So there's probably a point. You're about to do this. In fact, I mean, from a standpoint of, yeah, like Riona, you've got like both of Denari's hands in yours, kind of like your hands like this and hers like that, to just kind of make that like good conduit kind of connection kind of thing. There is some chanting, but it seems to be more like the kind of calming down chanting. Is there, I mean, do the Vontavni have kind of a way to just kind of get in the zone, in the flow state? What happened? How do you get into that zone when you're fighting? From the Vontavni point of view, how is that? Is there like a kind of meditation practice there? I'm curious.
Yeah, there'd be a bit of a meditative practice. In Riona's case, it would be picturing a memorial tree she has to her parents.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. Nice. All right. I like that. I remember that. As there's like, I was thinking like Tai Chi kind of in a way that kind of mentally going through moves and getting into that space. But the memorial tree is very cool. Okay. I like. So yeah, there's this kind of that moment they're going together. Darren and Alwyn, with your combined points of prophecy, yeah, can see this going badly in a number of ways.
See, it's going
I feel like we don't need prophecy for that, though.
No, but I mean, in a to steal from modern cinema, in a Stephen Strange Avengers kind of way of just like vision of this going horribly wrong, the goddess dead, multiple gods fighting over this, or worshippers thereof fighting, riots, like
To see
shots
Darren
of
and Alwyn's get, like, their heads get a little fuzzy as they like are like flipping through a lot of realities at once, doing this thing.
I mean, yeah. I mean, look.
Eat the cat.
If you're gonna cat eat it,
just cat
casually.
But hell, I'm not about stealing from the Avengers. It's a good movie. But kind of that, yeah. There's a lot of and in that process, and then the forgotten lore, there's chanting and like the goddess that glow that was dimming starts to brighten again. Only it's kind of in between Denari and Riona, and that brightness is kind of, again, from a cinematic standpoint, it would just get brighter and brighter and brighter on the other side of the world, the spirit world, with things pounding against the door. That there is that, is Pax in the room with the other sorcerers? Or are you kind of out with where are you in the building? Just a matter of where that brightness is coming from. Maybe you're in the front room and that just that kind of glow from the other space, and kind of walk in there and can't see. And just for us and for the audience, eventually that glow just becomes a golden white, and the whole screen just goes white. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Okay.
And that's where we're going to take a break because we're about an hour and a half in, and just the screen goes white, the world goes away for a moment, and we'll see what happens when we come back.
Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you for watching that last episode of Denari's Half Dozen on Huntsman's Hydra. We're going to be starting a new camp. No, I'm kidding. The look on Brandon's face was worth it, though.
The look the audience doesn't get to see.
Welcome to the new campaign. We're going to be starting right now. We're going to do character creation and but no, yeah, the screen fades to white and kind of comes back. And it comes back, and most of the, you know how things, when it fades back in, and that white is like part of the scene because there's snow on the ground. It's in a clearing, and there's a cherry tree. I have an old wizened cherry tree with the blossoms. Go with me on this, even though it's snow on the ground, there's still blossoms on the cherry tree. And names carved into the wood of the tree, into the bark of the tree. Dozens, probably going back generations, like many older carvings that are higher up at the tree as the tree has grown. And that Riona is there. There's like a little kind of shrine, I mean, like with incense and, you know, that kind of thing. Probably this would be a question for Kitty and Pax later. We'll get to it. It's just as a cultural thing of who uses the cone incense and who uses the stick incense, if or you know, or both, or their particular scents that are like appropriate for the various cultures. But like maybe it's a sandalwood scent or something like that, and it's just very quiet. You know, it would come back in the screen with that kind of very soft soundtrack kind of thing, and there's a crunch in the snow of horse hooves and things like that, and a woman lights from the horse and kind of comes up to where Riona is meditating, praying, and in traditional Vontavni garb, like warrior garb, bow over the back, the whole 9 yards, but it's Denari. Her blonde hair is in this case tied up in a Vontavni fashion, and she kind of sits down and says, "You're really okay with this?"
Yes.
Because there's a reason that I can only do this once a year. Body doesn't last. And that's a body that I had made special. So you don't have as long. So as long as you're sure, and I'll let your friends know that you're okay, and that you only have a little bit of time, and we'll do whatever we have to do to, I guess, find and deal with whatever we have to do. I'm gonna have to get the contract signed, but probably should get to Haven too.
Yeah, that'd probably be good.
Okay. And as long as you're okay with it. And she kind of leans in and kind of gives you a kiss on the forehead, kind of a parental kind of a gonna be okay kind of thing, and hands on the hip, stands up, and we'll be back soon. And for the rest of you in the rest of the world, that blinding light fades, and Denari's body just kind of collapses, with no glow to it whatsoever, almost a pallor, like they've died already, They've been dead for a little bit. This body is, again, has been kind of burnt through like a road flare in a way. And it's just there's a pallor there. I mean, lost a lot of blood too. Let's also be reasonable that even if it was divine imbued blood at the time, it's still blood that was not in the body where it should be, kind of thing. So, but opposite that, Riona, on the other hand, is not glowing per se, and not glowing in the you're pregnant sort of. It's just a very much a kind of a thrum of power. It's like the hairs on your arm rise up near her, kind of thing. And I guess art direction for Kitty. Yeah, your body, and in a lot of ways your mind, but also the goddesses. I think most of Riona is still kind of at the tree, kind of preserving your sense of self, kind of thing, while the goddess is in charge. So, yeah, do what a goddess of commerce and civilization would do, I guess. But yeah, it just kind of, and of course, one of the guards has just the wrong bad timingness of just kind of stepping into the room to like, things seem to be, oh my God, is she dead?
The spirit lives on.
Only her body. And I will pick up the contract and like inked pin quill and like shove them into the hands of Denari as Riona as Denari.
Alwyn will.
Diona.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Riona, how would you answer that question? Oh my God, is she dead? Or I guess how would you as Denari answer that question?
No.
No what?
No, I'm not dead.
Hang on, what? Can someone, and Oleander kind of like, calm down. It will. We're soldiers. When we need an explanation, we'll get one. Do we need an explanation? Because I would really like one. But
Patience. Not. Patience. And I sign.
Understood.
And I've already like put it as a sign.
So
Denari would want to read it first, I think.
Yeah. Probably.
Though that doesn't, in the divine sense, that doesn't take long.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind
I
of
would not be surprised if it doesn't take long.
Speed reader.
So, assuming everything seems in order to Denari, then she would sign it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, basically small changes as mostly for the city has grown and become. There are a few like minor points, maybe that I'm sure that the ancient nobility don't like, kind of skewing things a little more equally towards the Mercari,
Mm-hmm.
but not just giving them supremacy over the nobility either. So it's not the flip flop that they wanted. Anyway, it's one of those. All the fine points have really basically been argued. Yes, it's kind of the decision. It's kind of one of those documents that everyone walks away unhappy, and that's how you know that it's a good compromise. That if everyone hates it, it's probably right. Kind of thing, because they all hate different parts. But yeah, okay. The signature happens. And when it does, I mean, the ink and the whole thing, it does start to glow. With that, there is power infused in the signature that runs through the paper and the ink. And yeah, this becomes, I'm not saying that suddenly the spaces where illuminations would be, that illuminations appear or anything, because it's not necessarily that transformative, but it kind of, yeah, this is a binding. This is fine. This will be okay for 1,000 years.
If we go to Haven, I can sign the other copy. Then you'll have 2 copies.
And
will this body last that long?
That's a question for Pulsar.
It depends on how fast you get there. That look at the specially prepared body would last probably about 24 hours, because there's the whole all the parties and things like that. Actually, no, I'm gonna say probably that the whole visitation thing is probably maybe 12 to 18 hours. So Riona probably has 2 or 3 before they'll push past the point of no return and start doing serious damage to it. Maybe 4 hours at the outside. You don't have long.
So if we're quick, then yes.
I would kind of look at everyone and be like, I can be very quick. If that's what we want to do.
And Kitty, something for I guess a role-playing cue for you really don't like sorcery. It's not okay. It's painful. Sorcery is like getting stabbed. Well, small, like, okay, I guess from a poked with a paper with a thumbtack. But you get poked with a thumbtack often enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's still going to draw blood. It's still really, and sometimes someone will do something bad enough for it to be a paper cut or a stab, or, I mean, it's not great. But yeah, anyway, just letting you know that Riona may be okay with sorcery. Riona as Denari, it's actively harmful to you.
Yeah. So Denari will say, I prefer not to use sorcery to get there.
Respectfully, I'd also prefer my friend not be burnt from the soul out.
Fair point.
That is a fair point.
I will turn to Oleander, the guards in general. Is there back way out of here?
I have no idea where we are. We're inside. I don't.
Let's find out.
It's a shoe shop?
Let's find out.
I mean, there's got to be a basement. Find the stairs down, she said, and it's like, the guys there. Though that just leaves 2 people holding the door, and there's still a lot of kind of every once in a while just a press against it. It's like, maybe we could get in here. No, the doors are damn sturdy.
I'm gonna try and find a window is there an upstairs?
Mm-hmm. This is a 3-story building. There's there's a 3-story building.
Okay, I'm gonna go up to the next floor up and find a window and look for a bird.
Okay, I mean, yeah, if you and opening the window, there's still okay. There are fires in the city.
Oh fudge!
Smoke and fire, and nobody putting those out. In effigy square, you can see funerary statues that have been just knocked over, broken. There are like unconscious, hopefully only unconscious bodies in the street. And there are still just crowds of people kind of pushing, and many of them, it's a much smaller crowd than before, but there's still folks that haven't been able to even get out of the square. Kind of, rioting has happened while you have been doing the thing. And yeah, there are fires and smoke, and outside around the city, it's like the city is the clouds and everything above, because it's still like maybe noonish, because this was like relatively early in the morning, 10 or 11, when this whole parade kind of thing started, and the clouds are swirling around the city like it's the eye of a hurricane.
Cool. Okay.
And yeah, there are people below that are kind of just have been trying to get in, and you kind of can hear somebody going, "Who the fuck needs to protect a cobbler's this badly?" Whatever, fuck it. Like, knock the sign off the hinges just out of spite. But yeah, there are absolutely birds in the square still, or at least you could certainly where you could call to one. Okay.
I am going to specifically try and get a swan, if I can. If I can, like, I know that there's probably not one just chilling right there, but I'm gonna try and get a swan to come to me.
Okay. I feel like this would probably be a sorcery roll.
This is your focus will controls them, summons them, lends you their abilities, or changes you into one. I don't have to spend corruption though, so I can just do a magic.
Yeah, I for something specific, I don't know. You've got enough sorcery. I think that probably I think enough for 8 that it may take some time. It's just kind of like I need a swan, and the universe does not immediately provide you a swan. There's probably that moment, like the camera lingers on Darren. It's like, I need a swan to come to me. Just long enough for that moment of levity in this kind of down episode, and everybody's gonna like, yeah, okay, that's gonna take a second.
Yeah, I'm just like find whatever bird is nearby and be like, bring me a swan, and like tell the bird to go find, like tell all the other birds, I need a swan.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen now is that we're going to have language of birds sort of sections, because I mean, it's just like there's probably like the seabird is like, Joe, not good enough for you, hey?
It does. The ability does say that I cannot speak to them unless I spend corruption. So like I can command them, but I can't converse with them unless I spend corruption.
That's okay. That's a sphere of language, or sphere of something like that.
You just get that look from a seagull, a look that expresses all of that.
It's like, all right, it's gonna take some time. Okay.
Yeah. There's a very like, I don't know, Southie Boston just resentment of like, fine, seagull ain't good enough. You gotta have a swan. Okay, fine. Just flaps off. It's kind of like
the seagull's like, is this swan again? Because seagulls are really stupid birds, y'all. Like, I mean, they are incredibly dumb. They are only motivated by French fries.
I am also motivated by French fries.
I mean, fair. See, so there you go. Seagulls in Eversink are motivated by French fries and sometimes human flesh, because the funeral rituals in Eversink involve putting the bodies out onto pillars for
it's a sky burial.
Sky burial, the elements and the birds. So some of the seagulls have developed a taste for human flesh. Be careful. At any rate, yeah, you've got this contract, and it kind of reads through it, and I guess everyone is a weird thing happens in that retroactively at various points, particularly Alwyn, Adairn, Pax even, I think, and Briona as the goddess would know all this anyway, you remember meeting with various members of the Triskidane. In minor capacity, but you remember them and who they are. Names, faces, what they sound like. That's never happened before. That there used to be a magic of anonymity.
Huh.
And it doesn't appear to be there anymore.
Was that part of the contract?
Have you read all of it?
I mean, I feel like
Alwyn has.
Yes, I probably would have read all of it multiple times, and like all the like copied and double checking and.
And this is okay. This is fair. But I feel like I'm catching you at a point where you may have blown all your points and forgotten lore.
I have one left.
One left.
Ha!
Fair. Yeah, you think that's probably been a clause in there, that it's that there are a couple of what Alwyn would call reform measures in the new contract.
Interesting.
Guess I just forgot to put them in there.
But,
all right, that's very.
Oh God,
interesting.
I could. Oh man, I could see that. Is this all Alwyn? Is this Alwyn as activist? As provided suffrage? And
There's a
and
reason
the
why the
clause- and
Triskidane hate me.
And unions are fine. Got Denari to sign it. But yeah, I mean that's it's just a side note, and this kind of like that sounds like something that you're like, or just kind of a thought of, yeah, that sounds like something that the so and so on the Triskidane said to me the other day. How do I know that? Because they've probably talked to you during the creation of the contract. Just kind of and not been remembered or whatever, kind of thing. But now they are.
Excellent. Okay.
Here nor there, but yeah, other people also need to sign this contract, though. The goddess's signature is very important, but everyone has to sign the contract to make it completely binding. So yeah, getting to this, there's ways underground, and they're not safe. And speaking of not safe, Pax, in the spirit world, the doors are rattling. You don't have a squad of guardsmen to keep them from slamming open.
What does it look like on my side by chance? Do I just see like the glowing outline of Riona?
Riona. Mm-hmm.
Just
the glow of Denari has faded. And I mean, you can kind of still see Alwyn. The glowing blood isn't glowing as brightly anymore, but Alwyn and Darren have not had a chance to wash. There's not a shower. And well, actually upstairs in the cobblers, that also you're kind of in the living space of the people that live here.
You want to take a bath before we do this next mission? Before we start the escort quest?
It's tempting. But
right. Yeah, Riona only has a couple hours to live. Let's take a break and get cleaned up. I need to change, get something to eat.
Let's take a short rest if we can. I'd like to roll some hit. Oh wait, wrong game.
Yeah, right. Need to get some hit dice back.
So I'm waiting for the swan to come back for me
at
some point. Just kind of like anxiously pacing back and forth up there.
Pax would, assuming that Alwyn and Riona Denari can kind of tell where I am. I don't know.
Oh yeah. You can hear Pax. You can probably see Pax, Riona. In both worlds.
I don't know if y'all have people to help you up there. But the door on this side is about to come down, and it's just me.
Yeah, there are monsters there, Riona, in the spirit world.
Ah,
They're
we
beating
should take
down
care
the
of
door.
that.
I don't know how much I can protect you on this side. We may need to hurry or something.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Something you could do is when if they break through the door on your side, you could make them corporeal so that other people can fight them.
I'm very tempted to do that.
Mhm.
I mean, that's
But I think it's one spirit sight for each monster I do.
I didn't say it would be easy.
Oh, yeah.
So you could get 3 of them.
Or as many as Pulsar allows.
Yeah, as many as Pulsar allows.
Or if
If
I'm
I
allowed to
didn't-
help,
Can help pull them out of the
Mhm.
then you have no connection to me.
Yeah, and then everyone will spend all their points in spirit side, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Not just, I know, I'll stay a permanent resident. That's okay. Until my points replenish. A month later, Pax just like falls out of the spirit world.
Pax reappears at the coffee shop.
I mean,
No, just like pieces of her come through, like Dr. Manhattan when he's rebuilding himself. It's just like the nervous system walking through.
I hate
oh my god.
I don't get the reference, but I don't like it.
I don't either. My brain just like, no.
Oh, I hate
Oh, I
that.
love that. I'm
It's
so happy now.
That's so, and I love how great that would be to Dr. Manhattan the whole thing, and it's just like some mundane person. When they finally arrive, there's no superpowers or anything. Just, hi, I'm back. Would you like something from the bakery or coffee or?
Oh,
You
speaking
just
of
did a-
pieces, can I grab some pieces, like some of the dust and parts of Denari? Is it like completely dusted, right? Denari's whole body?
No. It's a dead person.
Oh, I thought it was like a statue.
No.
No,
It'd be kind of weird if
dead
you started grabbing pieces
human-
of that.
My understanding was it
You
crumpled.
can grab. It is possible to grab pieces of dead human body. I'm not saying no to that. I'm just.
It just
Not-
looks like it's been dead for a few hours, not like it's
it's
dead. Okay.
rapidly accelerated because it has been burned through.
Okay, never
kind of-
mind. I heard crumpled and my brain went to dust like a statue.
Not more of the animating force holding it up in the ritual is gone and just kind of, just.
Oh, that's boring. Damn it. Why
Oh,
can't everyone?
I'm sorry. So this has been boring to you, is that?
Why can't it be the surprise twist that everyone's actually a statue?
No.
Player says GM's kung fu is shit.
Anyway, so while this is happening, I'm waiting for my swan. I don't know if anyone else is doing anything in particular during this moment. Trying to get people to find him back.
I want his
back
winded.
way out of.
Yeah, I probably would, spirit call to them, be like, do you want me to send them to you? Because I don't think I can fight that many on my own. That was
We should take care of those.
We should get Denari and Riona out of here. I might be able to help out with something. And could I use ghosts and spirits to... Actually, no, that'd be forgotten lore. When they... If I go near the door where the spirit monsters are, can I feel them?
I mean, the thing is, in the spirit realm, there is a heaviness, a kind of creepy hairs on the back of the neck, badness that, you can absolutely feel. Sounds of like footfalls and scrapes are kind of overwhelmed because you're in the real world where there are people outside who are also occasionally banging on the door or throwing stuff or okay. Just like you hear a crash of glass against the door and a kind of a And one of the guards on the door is like, Captain. Oleander's, what? I think we got fire, Captain.
Fuck. I said this idea in the Discord. Can I power up Pax? Can I do a Pax-a-Punch?
In what sense?
Can I use ghosts and spirits in a way to empower their spirit realm body and give them a way to combat the monsters at like a little extra punch to where they could wipe them away?
All of them? Maybe not.
There's a lot.
But I mean that you could yeah, because that would be helping. There we have helping rules. You can just help. You may not be able to see exactly what's going on, but you could roll and help, and then Pax is the delivery system of that damage. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm down with that. You've got a way to kind of communicate, or if nothing else, you can like, I'm boosting them by pushing energy or whatever. Yeah. No, I like it. That's perfectly fine.
Cool. Yeah, no. I'm gonna tell
it may
Pax,
not be fine in your game of Swords of the Serpentine, but it's fine in mine because it's fun.
Mhm.
Anyway. You get to run your own game.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna just tell Pax, be like, I'm gonna give you a little extra boost, and we're gonna hope for the best. I'm gonna shout for Adarin, Oleander, and Denari Riona to get the fuck out of the house.
It's just like I found the ways down. There's cellar stairs. It's like kind of it's a trap door.
Go. I'll be fine.
Can you go out of that though?
Are there people standing on that? Yeah, that'd be rude.
Anyway,
No, this goes down into
Yeah.
the basement of the building.
Yeah.
This is Eversink. It's a 3-story building now. 100 years ago, it was still a 3-story building because it has now sunk, and 2 of those stories are, there are probably, if this building is 200 years old, there's probably about 4 stories underground at least. So
Have
yeah.
fun.
there are ways down, and the trick there is finding sideways paths towards Haven.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's enter the dungeon crawl, I guess.
Darren is gonna stay at the window waiting for the swan. Like,
well, eventually you see
come on.
one just kind of, and it's infuriatingly slow, or at least appears to, because the swans just got a huge wingspan. It's just kind of it doesn't look like it's moving very fast, but it's just a big old bird, and just kind of and kind of gets the windows. It's gonna honk, just honks at you to kind of get that F out the way so it can land.
I will make room for it.
It's just kind of that angry. Swans and geese ain't that different, y'all.
Swans are just pretty geese with better PR teams.
Yeah, better PR. But yeah, this one it's not upset, but kind of like, you called, kind of checking out the place.
This is very important. You need to get the other swans and do the symbolism thing for Denari to convince the people that she's still alive, because she is. I would think that Darren knows more about this, and the swans know more about this than Stephanie does. So
Right.
Yeah,
I don't know that there's a swan symbol that they light or anything.
I feel like, I don't know, the idea is that there's, I don't know, the crows or the ravens at the tower means that the queen is still alive or whatever.
Right. I'm sure
there's something. Yeah.
I mean, well, there's all kinds of sayings seeing a swan at this particular time is good luck, and they're probably just as many things as seeing the swan at exactly the same time under the same circumstances is bad luck. But it's just that. But yes, seeing swans is a sign of Denari. And so if there are just swans everywhere, then people are going to be like, hopefully, that's a good sign. That means she's still alive, or they're mourning her or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Like
we
this,
can hope for the good. We can hope for the good one.
On like her churches or like whatever shrines to her all around.
Yeah.
Just be like, she's still here. She's still here.
So I
do a little crowd control.
I feel like this is a use of scurrilous rumors.
Okay, sure. I don't get to use that one as much.
Because you're spreading a rumor around the city that the goddess is alive.
Absolutely, I could do that. Do you need me to roll for that, or does that just happen?
Well, I mean, again, normally an investigative ability, scurrilous rumors would be getting you information. I think you're trying to put it out there that's probably a spend.
Okay.
Just to kind of, but I think actually doing it through sorcery and using the swans as symbols is kind of cool. So yeah, I have a feeling that this swan is like kind of puffs up, feeling kind of important, like, oh, okay, I get to tell everybody that the god all the other swans will know it was me, that I
like every swan in the city, be very visible.
Yep.
Convince people she's still alive.
Having that Paul Revere moment, like, one if by land, two if by sea, or if you see a swan, you see me, kind of, I don't know, something. There'll be a children's rhyme out of this somehow. There's your homework for the audience. Come up with a children's rhyme for this.
Excellent.
Fan art, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I'll take it. But yeah, the swan is kind of
Darren
like
lecturing a swan. That's the art I want to see.
God, the woodcut.
That would be great.
Yes.
Woodcut, just like the shouty Tommy picture. Yes, Darren addressing the swan. And this one kind of does this little head dip, like almost a nod, and then just kind of almost knocks you over, spreading its wings out to jump out the window. It's, again, big bird. They're not people size, but they're big dog size. Some of them can be anyway.
Oh yeah, they're huge.
So this is like one of those out the window and does this kind of I guess the camera would be like right at the window, and this one just disappears, like it's just fallen. But you hear the and then out goes up and out and stuff like that. Yeah. And Oleander is at the door and is like,
I'm coming. Oh, I'm coming.
It's okay. This isn't how I wanted to do this, but
me neither.
I'm glad you're okay. And I'm. Are you okay? I feel like she's kind of looking down because this is like a head and a half, a head taller.
Oh yeah, and I think Adair's not especially tall either, so I think she's maybe a little bit on the short side. I think people think she's taller than she is because of the way she carries herself, but when you actually stand next to her, it's like, oh, actually, you're kind of short.
And the looming shadows have nothing to do with it, I'm sure. Just kind of.
Darren walks like she's 6 feet tall, but she's closer to 5 feet tall.
You're like 5'2". The shadows behind are like 7 feet. Dun, dun, dun.
Hi.
But yeah.
There is so much I want to say, but now is not the time.
So I understand. Thank you, though, for saving the goddess. That's
so far.
You just saved the world.
Not just me. And so far, she's saved. I don't know what happens when she burns through Riona's body.
Let's not find out. Let's
go.
Yeah.
And I will like run down the stairs. Yeah, and I think I've like I feel like I would have the contract unless somebody's got like a a really compelling reason why they're holding it. But I think I like would have taken it, like hidden it back on my body.
Probably,
somewhere.
probably back in the same like leather folio and workbook that you had it in
Yeah,
before,
like
kind of
in
thing.
my
It's just
in my like bag that's like on me or in my pocket or something.
Sure.
Yeah. No,
Pocket shadow dimension in your purse. Yeah.
Wrong game system. There's no bag of holding here.
So how much sorcery you want to put into it, I suppose.
Yeah, it's true. I will clatter down into the basement and probably make my way towards the front of whatever party there is.
Yeah, and like at least this first basement below ground none of these. This isn't like going into the sewers in D&D, right? Because it's not a, here's a dedicated space that's, here's where sewage water and all this. This used to be like, usable, livable space. It's just now it's below ground. So there's still like signs of like wood paneling and very nice, accoutrement and stuff like that. At least this first level below ground. And, then as you get farther down, it becomes more and more dilapidated as it's older. And you're going to have places where like water has come in or mud and stuff like that because you are on a river estuary. So that's, it's not like, oh, every building just has this, 50 levels below ground, like a secret underground base. It's more of there's potentially that many. Some of them are flooded and full of mud. Some of them might have been taken over by monsters who can't show their face above ground. And oh, look here, it's a livable space. This is a pretty nice living room that no one's using. And at least, and if they do come down here, we can kill them, and that'll be nice too. So it's definitely not safe. But there are also passages that have been cut from building to building and stuff like that. Even, not so much that bridges that used to be built are, when they hit ground level, they just tear them apart and use the wood elsewhere. But tunnels are made, connections are all over the place, and there's ways to kind of navigate towards Haven. And yeah, Pax, they're starting to go downstairs, which is great because a lot of these spirits and monsters are upstairs, though downstairs and underground in the spirit realm is not fantastic either. But yeah, I mean, buildings, the spirit realm in Eversink is kind of like the ghost and memory of the city itself, which is why there's not normally a whole lot of just spirits of people roaming around, because when they die and the statues, funerary statues are made of them, they just go to heaven. So the place is kind of quiet and empty most of the time. And there's a little bit of peace in that. But the things that are around are generally stuff that wouldn't be allowed in Denari's heaven. So they're not great. But even in the spirit realm, things sink. It's Eversink. It is. So there is a below ground, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so you can go down there and kind of get away from some of these monsters. And I guess if you stay with the group, that's a thing you can do. Though the farther away you get from the door, the less your influence is felt. And probably, I guess, maybe you guys get down into that second basement, so 2 levels below ground or whatever. And Pax, if you're with everyone else, you kind of hear the door splinter upstairs, kind of as something comes into the building after you. What do you do?
I mean, the plan was to follow along unless told otherwise to protect Denari. So
sure.
Unless someone else is like, no, just stay there, don't go with her, then Pax would be kind of like running along with the spirit of Riona or Denari, and to try to just keep safe. And then if anything were to come towards them, that's when they would strike. They would try to like defend.
Okay. So Alwyn, it's you three. I'm not counting Pax on this side. It's Alwyn and Adarin and Riona and Oleander, and I think I'm going to say there are 4 guards. Yes, it is.
Can I say that we didn't just leave Denari's body there out on the floor, and that we did
Good
something
call.
with it?
Good call.
Good idea.
What exactly are you? I mean, it is entirely possible to bring it with.
I think probably bring it with would have been, unless there would be nobody to reasonably carry it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I mean,
just don't want the crowd to discover her dead body.
That would just hang it out. That would be a bad idea.
Messed up image in my mind of Riona carrying Denari's body while also having the spear of Denari in her.
Oh, I like that. That's pretty great.
No, I hate that.
Riona's pretty strong, and now she's gotten infused with, divine energy. Certainly, she can carry Denari's body.
Mm-hmm. Denari carries Denari's body across the threshold, colorized. Image. Anyway,
just adding to the new chapter of Denari, the whole
right. This is new law. I mean, yeah.
Why is there only one set of footprints in the sand? That's where I carried my own body.
Yeah. Yes, there's only one set of footprints because that was when I was imbued in another person's body and carried myself. Yes.
And that's a story of pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps.
Bootstraps. Yeah, exactly. Oh God.
It's very good, but I hate it. It's very good, but I hate it. Anyway.
Yep. Yes. The Denari Holy Writ and other stories of capitalism. Oh, geez.
I was going to say, you look me in the eye and tell me Denari's not a god of capitalism.
Yeah.
Of course.
We heard the door to the cobbler shop break.
No, this is in the spirit realm, though, because there were guards on the door, though they are kind of coming with as well. So, there's still people outside, and though what you can hear in this is, if you go up to the door, is the crackling sound of fire, and the door is warm, hot to the touch even. The glass is smoky. So yeah, you probably don't want to open that door and want to find another way out of this place. Fire in a medieval city is bad, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you add riots so that the fire brigades aren't working.
Pulsar, can I use my preparedness to have a flashback to that flesh tangle incident where we had to map out the entire path, the sewers throughout the entire city of Eversink, so we know another path that we can go through?
I'd say with using preparedness, I would say you probably have that map in your stuff for no reason. I'm sure it's worth someone asking, why do you still have that? But still.
I just had always imagined that Adarin felt comfortable down here because she went down to look for books, and that's how she became a sorcerer, because she doesn't mess with demons unlike some members of our company.
Hey. Don't put a poke in the boat there.
I read books.
My friend and I read a book, and now they're a demon.
Happened.
That's actually how.
There is the law of equivalent exchange applies, Alwyn. Anyway.
But okay, so we're.
But yeah, okay, fair enough. No, I like that. I will say, Alwyn, that map and some of that stuff would operate like a level of city secrets for this purpose, as far as of having a route to Haven that is mostly underground. Can't promise it's a safe route because what a flesh tangle considers a safe route and what y'all consider a safe route are probably different. You know, flesh
Just a
tangle comes
little bit.
across, yeah, you know, a grotesque amalgam of hundreds of dead bodies that kill and absorb whatever it comes across has different standards. So yeah, for what constitutes danger, I guess. Nonetheless, but it's a path that probably won't involve traps, I guess, or like, oh hi, here's where we know a whole bunch of werewolves live, or whatever, you know. It probably only crosses under the harbor in like 2 or 3 places, and far enough underground that you don't have to worry about drowning much. It's mostly safe. I mean, like I said, there's probably going to be a swimming section. Let's be honest. If I were building this as a video game level or something, that you have to, you know, that there would have to be several. But anyway, not that I'm doing that. Come on. But yeah, so that's a thing. And yeah, you guys wind up with Alwyn as Oleander is kind of like, what is? You have a map? Okay.
We needed it for the statue out in the.
Less said the better. Alwyn, let's just go. We have time to discuss later.
He kind of like, you trust this map? Okay. All right, then. All right, guys, we're going. We have a map. That's great. And you know, it's like a couple of them. They kind of basically there's a moment of just kind of reaching for gear and stuff like that. And these guys are all kind of carrying basically the same things. They're kind of bucklers. She's got chain. Most of the rest of them are in like heavy leather or leather with like studded plates and stuff like that. Only they're her and 4 people, so 2 of them have shields. Most of them are spearmen, though. They particularly for, I think, maybe for this duty of just kind of having that something to, you can use the butt end to push people back for crowd control kind of thing, or if it gets really wild, you can turn it around and use the pointy bit if you have to. But in this case, they're kind of going through gear and getting out like little lanterns.
Yeah, I think I'll pull out my like. I feel like I have a lantern that's maybe like kind of like drinking glass size, like, you know, about that tall, about that big around, and it's like got like a base that I can hold it by, or I can hold it in my hand. It's like a giant glow stick almost, but it's got like really pretty like copper filigree at the ends, and it like it's very clearly not powered by flame. It's a technology thing.
Yeah, there's a key to turn to kind of
to turn the brightness up and down too, and I'll like make it dim.
So she's got this. Darren has this. These guys have these. They are beat up, looking like little kind of camp lantern kind of things, and they light them up, but they hook on the end of the spear, so that they can carry them and basically have a light source, or can just brace it over the shoulder and have kind of a light source behind and not have to really put a lot of effort into it. But anyway, so there is a little bit of light produced in the darkness, and Oleander's like, that is fancy. Not surprised really, but just that's impressive. It's I think we talked about it earlier. It's kind of like piezoelectric, that it kind of quartz crystals that if you smack them, they light. There's like kind of that kind of Chernikov kind of, it's more of a blue where the candles are, you know, that kind of flame yellow glow. This is almost more of a greenish blue.
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of, yeah. Important role play question: is it green blue or blue green?
Green blue. It's definitely greenish. Yeah.
Okay. Oh man! All right, so yeah, so we proceed underground, and start going through the tunnels. And yeah, in the world, you can kind of hear that the kind of the crackle of flames upstairs, not just in the cobblers, but kind of in some ways that the whole city is on fire. And for Pax, just the kind of low rumbling growl of something prowling around upstairs looking for a way down. And kind of there's a roll of thunder that you can hear, or anyone who's, I guess, still touching Alwyn's staff can hear the I'll find you, goddess. We need to have words.
Ax's crossbow is at the ready, and it's like right up here, just ready to go.
And we'll get back to that next week. It's about that time. We'll tune in for the next episode of Aliens, from Free League, which is a great game. No, I was kidding. It's a great game. It's not the one we're running. We're running Swords of the Serpentine from Pelgrane Press. It's been really great. I hope you have opportunity to check it out. It is written by Kevin Culp and Emily Drexler, multiplexer on Twitch and Twitter. I don't know if she's on Twitch. Probably not. But anyway, www.pelgranepress.com. Great game company, makers of Trail of Cthulhu, Ashen Stars, Time Watch, and of course Night's Black Agents, which is awesome if you haven't had a chance to check that out. I mean, what's not to like about Jason Bourne versus Dracula, essentially? So, but yeah, it's a fantastic company. We're really enjoying this game. I'm enjoying the hell out of running it. So I have been Commander Pulsar. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter at Commander Pulsar. And I do this on Tuesdays. On Sundays, I put Legos together. We have Lego brunch in the afternoon. And we just finished putting together the Millennium Falcon. So switching movies, I'm switching to, speaking of time shenanigans, Back to the Future. We're going to be building a DeLorean next week. And yeah, other than that, I am occasionally on the internet on Huntsman's Hydra playing Magic the Gathering every once in a while. And you can find me on a website called startplaying.games, where I run tabletop role-playing games professionally, including Root and Swords of the Serpentine, Tachyon Squadron, lots of stuff. And I'm willing to do lots of other things too for money. So anyway, I know phrasing, that's fine. We're going to do that. I'll take it again. But anyway, so kind of to go back out, Goddess, why don't you take it away next and tell us where we can find you on the internet and, and other spheres of influence, I guess.
I'm Denari. You can find me in Eversync. No, I'm Kitty, also known as Wizard, Caffeinated Kitty. Wow, I can't think tonight. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as wizardly_kitty. I am an artist, a freelance artist, and a fantasy writer and an editor. I make custom fantasy maps and paint miniatures, and I make 3D card art altars. You can find some of my artwork on DeviantArt at caffeinated-kitty, and at some point in the future I'll be starting an art stream here on Twitch as Caffeinated Kitty. Let's go with Cole next.
Hi, I am Cole, aka Ice Cole Brew. I am a variety streamer here on Twitch, and you can also find me on Huntsman's Hydra here almost every Tuesday and every other Sunday playing Blades in the Dark for Fire in the Dark. Tomorrow, I think I'm also going to be doing a extra stream for the week with my partner Hilarity Art, and whether that is Phasmophobia or something from itch.io, we will find out. Yeah, follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram at IceColdBrew, and let's head over to Stephanie.
Hey, I'm Stephanie Allen. I am a professional game master. I'm part of Charm Person Games. We are a queer, women-owned professional game master for hire service. Words, I can say them, even in the correct order sometimes. You can find us over at charmpersongames.com. We will run anything you want. It is Pride Month. Give gay people your money. I am conveniently a gay people, and you should give me your money. You can find me there. We'll run anything you like. I specialize in horrifying and creeping out my players with their consent. So if you're looking for something creepy and full of horror, you can book with me, or you can book with my business partner, who will run something more wholesome if that's your speed. I also make overlays, as well as the starting soon and be back soon screens. The best way to get one of those is to reach out to me on Discord. So reach me there, and I am available for streams as a GM and or a player. Let's go with Aki.
Hi, my name is Aki. You can find me pretty much on any social media as It's Aki. That's ITSAWKIE. I am also a variety streamer, as well as a fiber artist who is currently working to get things up on their Ko-fi to do little fun things. I also do crochet, specifically TTRPG OC amigurumi, which is a fancy word for tiny yarn doll. And so my commissions are currently open for June. If you are looking to support a gay people, I am also a gay people, and I do those things. So that's it.
I think that's Cole's gone.
That was everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, I've gone.
I think we're
Everybody.
good.
I mean,
everybody.
There's not really anywhere else for me to direct it, so I was just kind of like.
I will plug Huntsman's Hydra because it's awesome. Check out this. Or Brandon, you gonna do it? Fine. Our disembodied voice of Brandon.
So I was just going to quickly say, if you like Huntsman's Hydra's content, we also play Magic the Gathering, which we are playing tomorrow. I believe the table is myself, Jamie Wolf, Blackjack Crafts, and James of Goblin Society Games.
Nice.
We will not have Lore of Etheria Sunday. We had a scheduling conflict, so we're going to wait a cycle on that. So the next episode will be the 26th. I think I did that right. I think math. But otherwise, yeah, we do cool stuff here. Join our Discord. We're going to start out community nights. There's a forum right now for Blades in the Dark. And we're going to do a Magic the Gathering community night at some point, which will have Commander/EDH. And I'm figuring out how to do a bracket for Arena. It kind of depends on how much interest we have. And we might have some giveaways coming soon to our Discord to run at some point that I didn't get an email about while we were in the middle of the game. No.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Also, real quick, before I hit this raid, if you're interested in Swords of the Serpentine, go use the discount code so then they know we sent you. Please.
Yep.
And
that we are driving interest to their fun game because.
Yeah, that one. And also, if you've been listening to the podcast, which I'm leaving this in, so if you're listening to this podcast right now, leave a review because I forget to promote that thing. Please. If you like it, leave a review. If you don't like it, also leave a review, I guess. I don't know.
It's engagement.
It's engagement.
I mean, this
Send
is
it to your friends
is,
if you don't like it. You can just send it to them anyway and be like, "Look, check out this podcast."
Yeah.
God, check out how awful these guys are. Oh my God, it's so bad. Yes.
But this game sounds cool. Maybe we'll hire one of them to run it for us, and then we can.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, please, check out the show, check out the stream, check out the Discord. It's all part of the fun world of commerce and civilization. So Denari would absolutely approve. And, thanks for watching, and may you always have coin in your pocket.